Hello and welcome to the vlog part of making spirituality real. This has been a long time coming. This is not the first time that I have done this. I have made an introduction message 5 years ago when I first started this channel, and in the past I also made a cooking video that I think is set to private right now, so I don't think you can even see it on the channel. And I've been battling myself a long time before recording this and before posting this, because on principle, if you look at my socials, this is basically a spirituality / astrology information service. This is what I do. What I do is that I share knowledge, wisdom. I write articles related to astrology, tarot, human design. I also live stream with my friend regularly by now, every Saturday. And all we do is we talk about informative things, trying to educate people about the esoteric arts. And this is what I'm good at. This is my forte, I would say, right? This is what people want to see. This is what people need. They need substantial, real information relative to what can help them with their own lives, relative to their maturation process. And this is what I excel at, which is also why I do private astrology and tarot readings. Because it's my expertise. It's something that comes to me naturally and effortlessly. But the reason why I called my channel Making Spirituality Real is because I wanted to inspire people through my channel and show them that while of course introspection and answering certain questions about your life through such arts as astrology is one thing, applying them in practice in your life is another. And I've been wanting to share a more, practical day-to-day side to my channel for quite a while. But there have been a lot of things that stood in my way. First of all, my living situation. Right now, I'm married and I live in the USA, and I live in quite a large house, so I have that space here in a room where I moderately sometimes have enough silence to focus to film, post, and share content. But I also take care of 2 very needy dogs and 2 family members, so that takes up my time. And often because there are people and animals circulating, it creates noise, which makes it hard for me to record. My budget is also very limited, so as you can see, this is like the best gear that I have right now. I try to use a camera that I have that technically has been trying to sell, but the batteries are dead, so I can't use it, and I don't even know if the mic works, because I tried to use it before and it didn't really work very well. I guess I can try with it next time. But just like I've decided when I started this channel for the first time, when I also didn't really have any equipment, well, I have a ring light. That's a good thing, because it really makes a world of difference. Just like I decided all these years ago to record regardless of my physical obstacles, I am doing that again right now, because I feel like it's time also for me to practice what I preach and take care of the divine feminine part of my nature, which I really struggle with. And the reason for that is an internal process that has become the result of external suffering that has befallen me. And I never really had much opportunity to thrive, exist, and relax within my divine feminine, and be in an environment where I felt like it would be free-flowing and open. And I never really felt like I could openly speak about my emotions, so to speak. I always feel like I have to deliver something concrete, show proof, show evidence, and supply knowledge for anyone to even listen to me in the first place. And I feel like when it's my turn to express myself in my journey, which I also believe to be an important part of setting an example, I feel like I just always get the impression like it's not going to be well received. And it always has been hard for me, and the fact that it hasn't really been received in my personal relationships either for a very long time has also made it very difficult on me. But I can't be a spiritual teacher in my public life and not try to make progress in my personal life. So I guess I also, next to the corner of my channel where I do my podcast, when I give information about astrology, and all my writing, where I do the same in the live streams where I also talk about tarot, astrology, I wanted to make it more personal relative to an emotional journey into the depths of my divine feminine, which operates from quite a wounded state. And this is a struggle that I wanted to talk about because I know that I am not the only one. I know that so many women are looking for help and support. So many women are lost, confused, and hurt too. Some of them worse than me, quite frankly. And I always believe that if you want to teach people something, you have to just, show them by the example of your being how you do that, how you live your life. Ideally, I always wanted to have my own cozy home where I could show you my daily routine, in this idyllic way that you see some YouTubers do, but very sadly, I don't really have that possibility right now. I don't have the conditions to do it really because I need absolute peace to be able to do it. And quite frankly, as much as I have a lot of information and I'm plenty capable of helping other people, my own personal life is just not at a place where I have the luxury to do that, and I don't know if I ever will be. Quite possibly, I may never reach that point. I may never reach that point because it does take quite a lot of specific conditions to be able to achieve that vision that I have, and it's been a year since I've had it, and nothing even similar to it has manifested anywhere in the physical. And at some point I worked for it, I hoped for it, and I changed my life for it, and still it is the way it is. And it might take years before, and if it ever happens. And in a way, I'm sad that I cannot share my dream with you, with things that interest me, things like organic clothing or conscious cooking, which for me is a very important part of taking care of your spiritual health, because as someone with a highly sensitive vibration, I know how much these things impact your life. Like if I can, watch everything that I consume on a physical level, and it's something that I would like to talk about. But right now I am in a situation where physically I'm not capable of doing that at all, and I don't have the kind of life where I could show you that. And I know that it doesn't really take much, and that there are many YouTubers that show their vlogs, and they don't exactly live in a palace, they live in small rented apartments, but many of them either live alone or they just have a lot of time and space to do that. And for me, I just don't feel like this time has come, like this is exactly it yet. Like my level of emotional safety is high enough for me to be able to go there. But again, the truth is that, like I said, this might never come, because life is not a fairy tale, and not every woman has an easy, peaceful, soothing life, even though this is the vibration that I would like to be able to offer to you. Well, again, maybe it doesn't really fully depend on me. No one knows better than me, than someone who is so focused into the higher energy that some things just don't depend on us, and timing is everything and all that. But I think what I can do right now, and the first step that I can take is acknowledging the toll that certain things have taken on me, and telling you a bit about my personal life. I've heard people say a few times that my work is a bit too impersonal. I always thought that if it was more personal, nobody would care, but here goes. I have had a really limited life on a material level, and partially I really struggle in my environment, and I still do, because I am not the kind of person that is very easily socially adjusted or easily marketable. That's my other issue with platforms like YouTube. I'm not the kind of person who cares about the gimmicks of the whole social media sale thing, which influences your ability to do that. I am just not a very marketable being, I guess. Just not who I am. I am different down to the spiritual level, and it's something that I always struggled with. I struggle with it in my environment, and I struggle with it right now even online. But the internet is full of all kinds of people, some of them weirder than me, if I dare say so. And this is my channel after all, so I can do what I want to, right? And I really believe that if I was giving anyone advice, I would tell them not to let anyone's opinion stop them from doing what they want and being who they are. So I should practice what I preach, right? Anyway, the issue was more so that I suffered very heavy emotional burdens as a result of difficult external circumstances, very severe personal losses. I lost most of my family, and then I had struggles and disputes with the few family members left alive. Ultimately, I unexpectedly met my husband and moved abroad and got married, and my life changed completely as a result. It was very sudden. I never expected to move to the USA. It was not something that was in my plans. It was just something that happened to me through love. And even though I don't regret it, and I'm happy that I took this step, as a result, I feel more lost than ever because there are many things that I left behind that I'm happy about. I actually should make a video about the differences that I perceive emotionally between the American continent and the European continent, since I have the perspective and the experience. But as a result, I feel even more confused because everything that I used to be grounded within, things like nature or places that I hoped would become my home, have been taken from me. And frankly, have never really become my home, despite my best efforts, because of the people that rejected me in those environments. And because of life showing me like it's not a place for me. And in a way, it turned out for the best because I like the spaces where I live right now more. So definitely it's an improvement. But as a result, the divine feminine part of me is kind of, well, I would say neglected, but neglect implies my own effort. In fact, it's not about my own neglect, it's about circumstantial, forced neglect that I don't enjoy but was forced to live within. I am able to focus enough to channel things through things like tarot or astrology. But the truth is that for me, these vlogs also have a therapeutic form because I should be able to start learning how to talk about myself and my own emotional impressions, because my deep conviction that no one will care about them makes it so that I never do it. Maybe I have like one friend that I talk to about it on a personal level, but sometimes to have clarity, you need to take a bigger leap than that. And I guess I want to tell you more about the daily life that I would like to have, but again, this life is still not mine, so instead I think I feel like a bit like an alien that's floating around, different from everything and everyone, trying to find their place in this world and trying to find a rhythm and a level of health that will be good for me, but never really quite fitting in besides the moment when I have information that I can give, because this I feel confident in. So I guess the point of this was to have a little bit of a character exercise, but it is honestly very difficult to make this video, especially since I know that even for the information that I give, I don't have that many subscribers, so I doubt that there will be any reactions to it in the first place. And yet I know at the same time that it's important to cross my own boundaries and to transcend my own emotional blockages and be able to open up without shame. I just think that I shouldn't spend my life ashamed of my feelings or ashamed of the fact that I even have them, especially as a woman that's unhealthy. And I think it is not fair what happened to me, that I ended up in a position where I feel this way, while there are other women that I watch that I know that express themselves more freely and confidently. I think this should be the norm. And it's me, it's my situation that's lacking in that department. But I know that nobody will fix it for me unless I do it myself. So I guess this is me doing that with some form of acknowledgement, And I know that there may be others, maybe other women who feel, like I said, the same way as me or worse. And I guess if you see this, you can take it as a sign that you should do the same. That you should Also try to grow in that area if it happens to be a hard one for you, just like it is for me. Just because something difficult might have happened to you earlier in life doesn't mean that you should stay stuck in that vibration. I was always raised to be achievement oriented, and this has stuck with me in such a way that I always feel like I should be talking about the task, I should be to the point, and there are many things that I have mastered, I'm educated, and I'm good at giving advice, but I was never really encouraged to honestly tell what makes me happy and how I feel, and I think this is something that I should fix, and this is my attempt at doing so, at being able to speak up for myself and my own emotional world, like every woman should. I'll admit that it's easiest for me to do that through the cycles of nature. Technically, the area I live in is very beautiful. I can see mountains from my bedroom or even my patio. So, there is nature around me. But I have had many difficult experiences that have made being able to connect to those things almost impossible. And also there's the fact that, in Europe when I moved around, I used to move around with public transportation, as many people do. So I don't have a driver's license, and living in America, and where I live, which is kind of almost the outskirts of Las Vegas, it's difficult to move around. Before my husband and I moved here, I used to live in Portland, Oregon, and take solitary walks to the local park or around town even. And I guess that would be the equivalent of what I was doing before that, in Europe. But right now I'm in a position where I don't really have much mobility, which in a way, it's okay by me. I accept that. This is where life has brought me, and this is how it ended up. So I envy people who talk easily about how they're doing and how they feel. Most often I don't know, and mostly I would say that I just carry the residue of all the difficult relationships and situations that have happened to me throughout my life, and that I'm trying to heal from that. Constantly I'm trying to just clear that burden and that energetic dirt, I guess, of things that have befallen me. And I guess my goal was to kind of share with you guys from a position of energetic purity, that I would like that. I would love to be able to do that. But again, I have no guarantee if that will ever be possible. So if I don't start doing that now from where I am, instead of looking at one day, I may never do anything. And I may never take accountability for my own healing in the department, which I should. So, it's now or never. And I can't control what I can't control, but I can do this, whatever this is. My favorite thing about my day is that I have a routine. I always have breakfast that involves some sort of fruit and tea. This is the first thing that I do when I wake up, is that after I make my bed, I have this sort of a light breakfast, then I clean everything up, and I go back to my computer to write or organize more articles, because I had a lot of disorganized writing that I had to take care of, or publish them on several platforms, or create my podcast, or learn more, which is something that I do all the time. Then I do some more meal prep for a second bigger meal of the day. Then I go back to create, or then I rest, maybe then I watch something. On some days I also, it doesn't happen very often, but on some days I also go play sports with my husband, because that's what he does. And I'm very new to it, but occasional exercise is healthy, so sometimes I do that. Less and less now, because he plays in a more advanced group and I'm a beginner, so we kind of have different scopes of skill in the department. I always have a candle lit in my room, and I clean it with incense every day. I also very consciously take salt baths or rub myself with salt while I shower to cleanse my energy field. And I spend a lot of time to basically reduce the burden of physical existence. I actually think I spend most of my day doing that now that I've heard myself talk it. And really, my dream would be to be able to show it to you guys more visually, but I don't really feel like I'm in a position to do so right now. My dream is to have a beautiful home surrounded by nature where I would be able to do those things and share them with you guys. The other thing that I do also is I meditate. I chant Hindu mantras because I practice Vedic astrology. So I also spend a big part of my time in prayer and devotion, which also triggers my Reiki downloads that I post on both my YouTube and TikTok. And then, of course, there are the private sessions with clients that come to me for personal consultation, which also takes up some of my time. Again, I would like to be able to create a visually stunning video that would show you what my dream really is about, but I don't know if I would be able to do that, because a lot of things would have to align circumstantially for this to happen. And I used to pray for that, and then something else came into my life, and that never happened. So kind of gave that up, that if it's meant for me, it will come to me. But in the meantime, I still have to take care of my feelings, which, you know, are quite in a sorry state from hearing my whole life that they're not important. And yeah, just by carving out time to make this 30-minute video, which probably is going to be less when I cut it, I am trying to change that and make space for how I feel. Mostly it is surrendered. I guess that would be my main emotion. I used to feel hopeless. Then I replaced it with surrendered, which is something that happens when you spend your life not having anything that you want or need for your own well-being. But I am trying very strongly to believe that it will exist for me, and that it can exist for me, because otherwise I wouldn't want it, right? Quite frankly, I feel like I have had very little control over my life, and being able to decide where can I go directionally from a spiritual standpoint and how I can get there. I always felt like something else was deciding for me, even though I really did try to do certain things to make. Even though I really did try to do certain things to make sure I stay in alignment, it has never really been that easy, you know. But nobody said that a spiritual journey is an easy one, and even if one day I do end up recording exactly what I wanted to, I think I still would like to keep this on my channel to show you that this is the way to the life of your dreams, that sometimes there's only so much that you can do, and that often there's a lot of pain on the way. On the way there, while you're waiting for certain things to happen to you. We would like to believe that we can control everything and we can organize and arrange everything, but that is not always the case. I guess that I can make some smaller videos showing you some of my spiritual items. Very sadly, some of them have been left behind in Europe because they're fragile, and transporting them to the USA even in a suitcase would have destroyed them, but I still have some things here that I really value. And I guess I can also make some episodes about my organic clothing collection and my shopping habits. I already had one video like this that I made years ago. Very sadly, I used to have some habits in Europe that I couldn't continue here, like buying only organic detergent, because I can't afford that here. In the USA, it just would be way too expensive, and the only place to do that would be Etsy. In Poland, I used to have a website for that, but I can't do that here, so I just use what is given to me. A lot of my emotional well-being comes from being able to have these simple physical things that connect me to nature. It grounds me and makes my life feel meaningful, and I do that as much as I can. But frankly, I don't feel like it's enough to be able to show you yet in the form that I would want it. But still, this is what I would say makes me happiest, this feeling of connection with either people that I would care about, or nature, or both at the same time, right? I guess I should go for a walk there and show you my surroundings here. It's really very beautiful. The view from the patio is so beautiful, and so are the surrounding mountains. It's different than what I'm used to, but nature is nature. I'm not picky. Anyway, quite frankly, I feel like I had some sort of an important idea when I sat down to this video, but right now I don't know what else to say. I wanted to open up emotionally, and I ended up kind of feeling directionless as a result. Maybe I should, kind of break this boundary here and try to feel more of my life as it is, even if it is fragmented in a certain way. And even if it's not perfect, then I should still show it, the way it is. And try to feel what I have, right? I guess made me realize that, so thanks for that, you guys. I'll try to do that. Anyway, for this episode, I guess that's enough. I'll try to come back with something more substantial next time, even though it's very hard for me to create anything because I feel such an onslaught of difficult energies always taking up my time. And I always try to take a step back to be able to hold them away, which is why I'm so good at purifying others, because I know exactly how that feels and how hard it is on a personal level. When you're someone from a high sensitive standpoint, it's, in a way, it can be hard just to live, especially when you feel like there's a lot of external expectation placed on you. Anyway, thank you so much if you have stayed with me till the end. Anyway, I will try to film more about what makes me happy, what takes up my time and space, and the way that I express my spiritual interest in, and the way that I express my lifestyle, and the way that I apply my beliefs in my personal life. And I hope that maybe you can learn something from that. Take care.